Welcome back to another video on Influential Sports. And after during the trade deadline, when the Lakers got Luka, that caught me off guard. And I said that I wasn't excited for the trade because I don't think this team's won a championship. Because without Anthony Davis, we no longer have a big man. We no longer had that defensive presence that we needed. And we also lose Max Christie, and obviously Luka is better than both of them. But as far as the Lakers championship's hopes go and what we were aiming for this season, this is a trade that you're making. You're making this for the future if you're getting Luka, which is why I said we should have traded LeBron at the deadline too. Because I made the video and I remember everything I said in and after the trade. I wasn't convinced we would win a championship. I had a feeling our ceiling was second round. We didn't even get there. We lost in the first round, which I'm not surprised with the Timberwolves winning. Honestly, the Timberwolves are the deeper team. They did have a better team. The Lakers they did have a higher seed, but Anthony Edwards showed up and showed out once again. He already has one of the craziest playoff resumes, eliminating Kevin Durant and Jokic last year, and now eliminating LeBron and Luka this year. Like that's a crazy playoff resume for him to have going against the top stars. And I'm gonna get into Anthony Edwards towards the end of the video and how good he was in the series. But I really want to dial in and talk about the Lakers and how we lost this series and why we lost this series. Because even with home court, we lost the series in 5, and there was a few close games, especially down the stretch, especially the last two and the third game. The other two were blowouts for the Timberwolves and the wins that they had. And really, like I said, not having AD really hurt because that meant that we don't have a big man because Jackson Hayes, Christian Coloco, Christian Wood, whoever, those aren't sustainable guys at the center position. And this is probably Rudy Gobert's worst playoff series of his career, or it was one of his worst. And then he had that really amazing Game 5 where we just couldn't stop him. But looking at the big men we had and then during the trade deadline, also trying to get rid of Dalton Connect to get Mark Williams, and you having that situation with his physical field, that also takes away the bench production because Dalton Connect, he looks lost. Not like Dalton Connect, he was one of the top shooters in college, but we can't use him now because his confidence is shot because the Lakers tried to trade him. So anybody in his position wouldn't want to be there. So I don't blame Dalton Connect at all. That's definitely not his fault. But we put him in a messed up situation, so we can't even use him how we could have how we were post-trade deadline to bring a spark off the bench, because we still had AD and Max Christie. AD would be in the starting lineup. He'd be playing great defense. You don't have to worry about Jackson Hayes getting 5 minutes in a game because of how bad he is. In Game 4, he had 4 points and 2 fouls, or 2 points and 2 fouls in the first 5 minutes, and JJ Redick benched him because that's how bad he was in the series. Like, he wasn't doing anything positive. He didn't add anything. He couldn't even average 2 points a game. He averaged 1.8 points per game in the series. And even though he didn't get that many minutes, it's not like it would have mattered anyways, because I can look at all the minutes for everybody that played. This team is, I wouldn't say old necessarily. It's definitely some older guys on the team, but old and tired is the best way to describe this team. Because once you get rid of that, then it's like you have Luka, LeBron, Reeves, and Rudy, and that's their starting lineup. Then you bring Dorian Finney-Smith off the bench for 4 of those games. Then you finally start him in Game 5, and he was doing much more than Jackson Hayes, but that much more wasn't a lot. That's just how bad Jackson Hayes was. But you had Rudy, Reeves, LeBron, and Reeves and Rudy, they averaged over 36 minutes a game. Luka and LeBron played over 40 minutes a game. And Luka he had a game where he had the flu, so he still plays like 40 minutes in that game. So he's already sick, and then he's playing with the flu, so that's not good for his health. Obviously, LeBron's 40, and him having to play 41 minutes a game, this team wasn't constructed to win a championship. I don't know why fans make it like this thing that, if you have 2 stars, it means you're an instant finals team. No, it's not how it works. The Suns have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, but Bradley Beal is terrible, and you don't really have any depth around them. Look at how inconsistent Bol minutes is. That's because he is inconsistent. I see why he's never been able to reach his full potential. He won't be if he's that inconsistent. I don't know why Shaq loves him so much, but that's not. But the thing is, just because you have 2 superstar players does not mean you're going to win a championship. Like the Celtics, I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't call Jaylen Brown a superstar, but he can definitely work his way up to that. He's a top 15 player, so the Celtics have 2 top 15 players, and they surround them with solid depth. And these are guys that they got through the draft, too, so that's a whole different situation. But even you look at the team like the Cavs or OKC, these are guys that just got better over the years, and they just consistently became better to work their way up to earn a contract. So it's like just trying to put two stars together and surround them with mediocre depth. It's not winning you a championship. Like, and LeBron, he looked old and tired in this series. It was times where he looked better on defense than he did on offense. Like LeBron, even though his defense has been lackluster the past 2 years, he did play really good defense in this series, but he still looked old and tired in this series. In game 4, he passed up the shot to Austin Reeves. LeBron probably would have took that shot a few years ago, even if he missed it. But him passing up that shot to Reeves on the night that he was struggling in that game 4, and then this team just not being able to close out games, even Dorian Finney-Smith playing 33 minutes a game. After those 5 I named, the highest minutes per game on the team is Gabe Vincent at 19.7, and he hasn't been a positive impact for us all season. So it's like you're getting your 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists out of LeBron, and shooting 35% from 3, shooting 77% from the free throw line. You're getting your 30 points and 6 assists and 7 rebounds from Luka, shooting 45% from the field, 35 from 3, 89 from the free throw line. You're getting Reed shooting, playing well with 16 points and 85% from the line. But it's just not enough, because when you have such a top-heavy team, it's not going to get you nowhere. Like, this team is really top-heavy with 2 superstars, and you have a couple of good role players with Reeves and Rudy. But after that, I mean, Dorian Finney-Smith is cool, but it's like that's just the starting 5 or the starting 4 to 5, and Dorian Finney-Smith. That team was never bound to win a championship, and I said it at the trade deadline. And this is what. And I wanted to talk about us not having Anthony Davis, and I'm gonna talk about that in a second, and talk about Rudy. But when I look at the Timberwolves lineup, Anthony Edwards averaged 41 minutes a game, and I'm gonna get into Anthony Edwards now. Averaged 26.8 points per game, 8.4 rebounds, 6.2 assists, 1.2 steals. Only averaged 1.2 turnovers in this series. He was not turning the ball over. He did shoot 77% from the free throw line, which was surprising, and 33% from 3 and 42% from the field. But he was really good. He was really effective. He wasn't just scoring. He was playmaking. He was getting clutch buckets down the stretches of games. If he knew he needed to make the pass, he would. And he was playing defense on LeBron and Luka and guarding them well. He wasn't just out there scoring. Anthony Edwards does so much for this team, and he's so great that he's able to lead them to wins. That's why the Wolves were able to sweep Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and the Suns last year. That's why they beat the Nuggets in Game 7 last year. They dominated them in a Game 7 against Jokic and Jamal Murray, who's one of the best playoff risers ever. This year he's able to beat LeBron and Luka, who's one of the top offensive duos. And it's not just him by himself, but what he does is so crucial to that team. Like, Anthony Edwards has proven why he's a superstar and why he can be the face of the league. And this team is so much deeper than the Lakers, because even though he averaged 41 minutes a game, Julius Randle played nearly 38. Jaden McDaniels played nearly 33. Rudy played 28 minutes per game, even in his worst playoff series ever. Dante DiVincenzo, 26. Nas Reed, 24. Mike Conley, 24. Nikhil, 20. Like, they were all able to be on the floor consistently and play, and they all had their moments. Like, Jaden McDaniels, he had his moments where he had a few games in the series. Julius Randle had a few games in the series, and this was probably one of his best playoff series of recent memory. Because who had known Julius Randle to choke in the big-time moments come playoff time when he was with the Knicks? So him being able to step up in this series, hit some threes, play some good defense. Like, this is probably the best defense I've ever seen Julius Randle play. He did a great job guarding Luka when he had to, and even though Luka still made some of those shots, I'm not going to discredit him, because he still played good defense. You can play good defense and the player still make the shot, talking about Luka at the end of the day. But Julius was playing good defense. And then the Lakers, they really can't close out games. Like, we had some of the worst of the fourth quarters. But the Wolves averaged more rebounds. They had 3 less turnovers per game. Which, if you're turning the ball over more, you're more likely to lose the series. And then there was one more thing I wanted to look at in this 5-game series, because it's Game 5. Because after pretty much through the first 4 games, Rudy Gobert wasn't effective. But taking Jackson Hayes wouldn't have been able to stop Rudy Gobert because he wasn't really doing much of anything. Rudy Gobert was just missing some point-blank shots sometimes. But in Game 5, when Anthony Edwards was struggling, he shot 0 of 11 from 3, which is unusual, one of his worst playoff games, and this is unlikely to happen again. But Rudy Gobert in Game 5, 27 points, 24 rebounds. 15 of those were defensive, 9 were offensive. He was crushing the offensive glass. It wasn't like he was fouling, pushing anybody out the way. He was crashing the glass hard and getting the rebounds. He also had 2 blocks. And then he shot 12 of 15 from the field and 3 of 6 from the free throw line. So Rudy Gobert was fantastic in that Game 5 to close it out, and we couldn't do anything about that. Because no matter who he had, whether it was Maxey Kleber, Jackson Hayes, Alex Lynn, none of those guys, them 3 guys combined can't even match what Anthony Davis was to the Lakers and their defense. Because if Anthony Davis was still in this team, it's more likely for Rudy Gobert to struggle, and he was just phenomenal in this game. So I got to give my respect to him, because I was prepared to make a video about this being the worst series of his career. That still can be true, but after this was a very impressive Game 5, and I'm a Rudy Gobert fan, so I was happy to see this game for him. Even at the expense of my team, I was happy to see this game for him. The media isn't going to talk about it and how good he was in this game, but a phenomenal game from Rudy Gobert last night. But overall, the Lakers lost it. The Lakers losing the series is on them. It's on JJ Redick. He could have did a better job coaching. The turnovers, that's not the JJ Redick problem. That's more on the players. LeBron is old and tired. Rob Pelinka is also at fault here because this team is old and tired. I mean, you're trying to get LeBron is old. You have your whole starting 5 playing 30-plus minutes a game. Your bench is barely playing. So really, you can point fingers at a lot of people, but the Lakers plan obviously didn't look like it was to win now. Because if it was, we wouldn't have traded AD and Max Christie. Because Max Christie could actually give you some production that Gabe Vincent can't. Gabe Vincent is one of the most inconsistent players ever. Even Jared Vanderbilt having him back, it didn't really make an impact. I mean, he had his moments. He was definitely crucial to our defense, but he didn't do much in the playoffs. He got some rebounds, but he had a few defensive plays, but it's not enough to match what Anthony Davis was. And having Luka on the team is cool, but do you want Luka because you're prioritizing now, or are you prioritizing the future? Because you can't be trying to balance both. We've seen the Warriors do it and win, but they won one time doing that in 2022, trying to balance the future and the now. And now we see that they realize that won't always work. That's why Jonathan Kuminga is not getting minutes now. That's why they traded for Jimmy Butler. Because they're prioritizing now. The Lakers are prioritizing towards the future, and that's really going to set them back if they're doing that. Because all these other teams in the West are improving, and we don't know how much longer LeBron has. Because even though LeBron was not bad this season, this is definitely one of his worst in recent memories, with the points per game going down and him not looking as good as he usually does in the playoffs. Once again, he wasn't bad, but this is not, he usually plays better than this. 9 of 21 in an elimination game. But that's it for this video. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and give your respect to Rudy Gobert.